Hey guys, thanks for coming back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about something that's near and dear to my heart, but not in a good way, in a bad way. And that is parasomnia, which some people may or may not have heard of. I guess it depends if you have like a sleeping disorder. But I am somebody who has one, and I have a version of parasomnia, which I'm going to talk about today. Ooh! I also have recently been given a CPAP machine, one of these guys here. It has like a tube and stuff. I don't have the tube on it right now, but these things that like breathe for you, and you wear like the mask you put over your face. So I don't know, I was rented one of these for like a month. They told me that it might help with my parasomnia, and we'll get into that later as well. But first, what is parasomnia? Well, I'll put this neat little graphic on the screen. Ta-da! So, there's different types of parasomnia, as you can see here, just in this little graph. The non-REM sleep one, you got like confused arousal, sleepwalking, night terrors, and sleep-related sexual behaviors, which I don't think I have, but apparently at some point I did start like making out with my partner in the middle of the night, and then she thought it was really cool at the time. She was like, oh, he's so loving. I don't remember anything about it, but I got brownie points for it later. I was like, I was making out with you. Okay, sure. I do have confused arousal, which I mean I will talk about later, and then some version of sleepwalking or night terrors. Night terrors are generally something that you act out, like it's something scary that you act out. So I don't know, the house is on fire, for example, and so you'll wake up, you're gonna yell something, usually like, oh shit, the house is on fire, or you know, jump out of bed and you're gonna go like try to run downstairs. When you're doing that action, you kind of are not really aware, like you're semi-aware of what you're doing, at least for me. So I just have an overwhelming need to, you know, get out of the house, go to some area, whatever, that I don't think is on fire. It can get pretty crazy. Got my dogs and we went to the car, and I was trying to load them into the car, like into the back of the car, so we could leave because I thought the house was going to blow up. And then I kind of came to my senses. And this only took like a minute or two. I came to my senses standing in the garage with my dogs. It's the middle of the night. They think they're going like on a trip to the dog park or something. And I'm there in my underwear, just like, why am I here right now? I've had different times where I've gotten out of bed and I've literally gone outside the front door and just been standing outside, and then I wake up and I'm like, why am I outside on the front porch?
It's cold.
Once in college, I got locked out of my dorm room because it had like an auto-locking door, so I ran out the room and I was standing in the hallway just in my boxers.
Bro, what are you doing?
Luckily, my roommate, like I was able to wake him up by like knocking on the door. Yeah, if I didn't have a roommate, I'd just be standing out there. Usually, I get these things called the confused arousal, which is basically where you just kind of like, you sit up in bed, you don't necessarily get out of bed, but you start talking and stuff like that.
I want ice cream.
I don't know, you might, it could be, and I'm just like, I'm in a meeting, you gotta be quiet, I'm working on spreadsheets or something. Like I've said weird things like that. And then sleepwalking, I don't think I have that per se, but my night terrors kind of involve sleepwalking, so I have no idea. Okay, moving on to REM-related. So a REM-related sleep disorder is usually like something where you're acting out a dream, like you start kicking and punching, like you're doing something in self-defense. It's usually something sort of related to that. You might start yelling and screaming and stuff. Reoccurring isolated sleep paralysis. This is basically where you can't move. So you actually feel like you can't move. And then nightmare disorder, so you wake up like having a nightmare. And then others, exploding head syndrome. Apparently this is where like your head will hurt like upon waking. You'll get like a flash of pain in your head. Never experienced that. Sleep-related hallucinations. I think I have sort of experienced that. I remember thinking like there was like a tie or a belt on a chair as an example, and I remember being like, that's a snake, and like threw my pillow at it and stuff.
Why did it have to be snake?
Staring at it, like, that's a snake. It's really a snake. Or like a spider was crawling on the wall. Well, bedwetting, Yeah, I don't think I do. I don't do that anymore. Although one time I did have a dream. I remember this. This is a few years ago. I had a dream, and I remember thinking like I was on the toilet. I was like, "Oh, I'm on the toilet. I can just go pee right now."
This is fine.
And I woke up, and I wasn't on the toilet at all. Now, parasomnia is kind of just like a general high-level term. If you're told that you have it, it's just like kind of like a catch-all term. So more likely than not, you're going to have a few of these different sleep-related disorders. So like I was saying earlier, this is something I developed when I was about 14, 15. And for me, on my dad's side of the family, like my father has narcolepsy, which is like a sleep disorder where he'll just fall asleep if he's sitting down or not being active. He also would fall asleep when he's driving, which was great as a kid because he would just start to nod off, and we used to just have to reach over and like grab the wheel and like start steering the car. So one of us kids always had to go with dad in the car. My uncle apparently also had some kind of a sleep disorder. I don't know exactly what, but he might have had something similar to what I have. I think how it, like when it started, I was kind of going through puberty, and my mother, well, is very religious. My parents are very religious, and my mom caught on to the fact that I would like look at women's stuff. I'm trying to be PC right now. I look at pictures and shit or whatever at night because I'm a teenage boy. And so she would like randomly raid my room. And so a lot of times I would just be sleeping and she would like burst in the middle of the night, be like, "Oh, I know something's going on in here," or I mean, I had a bad dream that you were doing something, so I gotta check on you. And sometimes she'd like have like holy water and shit, and she'd be like splashing it on me. She's like, "I'm gonna get the devil out of the room." I'm like, "What is happening?" I was just sleeping. So at some point I used to even like put like a little bin next to my my door, so if it would open, because we didn't have locks, I wasn't allowed to have a lock in my room, so if it would open, like she would knock the bin over and it would like give me some seconds of notice. Right around that time, after when all these things were happening, that's when I developed this sleep related issue. It kind of the way the doctor explained it to me, I was predisposed, and then because of this trauma that I was exposed to in my teenage years, it's like kicked it off, and then I just haven't been able to get rid of it. And usually it's related to stress, is what he said. And now I'm stressed out in my life, just like everybody has stress, right? Then you're more likely to have it. Now, things that you can do apparently to work on it, there's a couple of things. So one, he gave me this sleep CPAP machine, so I'm supposed to use that and see if that does anything. So that's... But some of the other things that he said to try that are more normal is like having a routine sleep, trying to go to bed earlier, etc. Like always try to get your 8 hours, or keep a healthy lifestyle, don't be overweight. Meditation also was one that was pointed out as a good one. I went and I got the CPAP machine because he said, hey, my sleep doctor, he said, hey, you should try the CPAP machine. It might help you out, because I went for a sleep test, and even though I don't actually really snore, and I don't have like breathing issues like that I need a CPAP machine like most people, he said get one and try it and see if it helps your sleep disorder stuff. So of course I did, and it's expensive. These machines are $3,000 in Canada. They're probably in the States probably be a little over $2,000 then, and they only last 5 years. Really expensive. I'm just going to show you some clips of me like putting it on and the mask and everything.
And this is the mask / headband that I'm supposed to wear with the CPAP machine. So it's supposed to go on something like this. Well, I gotta take my glasses off.
Luke, I am your father. Damn it, beautiful mom! Oh my god! I look so gorgeous. Can you just imagine me sleeping like this?
And then supposed to hook this on.
Yes, you can. I'm coming for you!
Okay, guys, it's fine. It's fine. I know you're scared.
Okay, calm down. And then, nobody can understand me. This goes like that. This is turning the sucker on. I have it all hooked up now, and I'm just supposed to lay down. Oh shit, it's doing it. What the hell? It feels like... Yeah, it's like blowing air. It's like somebody's breathing on my face. This is kind of weird.
Okay, so as you can see, like the mask kind of like covers not all of your face, but a good chunk of your face, the tube and everything. And of course, my one dog there, Yukon, does not like any of this stuff. And every time I put it on, he just runs away from me, and then he even growls at me, or it's not so much growling, but like huffing. So I got this thing hooked up, and so the results from my first night of sleeping was that when I recorded myself, I had 3 confused arousals. That is actually more than I usually have, and that happened in the first 2-3 hours of sleep. And then I decided not to use the machine anymore because I kept having it happen. So I was just like, this is not good. So I just took the machine off, but I had 3 of them. So which is basically me sitting up in bed or something like that and talking and being like, what's going on? Like I was talking, I was clearly confused. And then the second night that I used it, I had 1 confused arousal, and then I had a night terror where I nearly broke the machine, because with the night terror, I literally jumped out of bed and ripped the machine off the nightstand. It flew across the floor, and now it's got a crack in it. Because it's attached to me by this freaking hose. So I'm just like, I don't think this thing's working. And I will say that the second night, all of that happened in the first hour and a half, 2 hours. So I'm not even getting through a full sleep. So this CPAP machine has not helped me at all. I'm not going to keep using it. I don't know if there's other people out there who have had good experiences with the CPAP machine and Parasomnia. But for me, I think it costs $3,000 already, and I'm already broken it on day 2. Like I've already cracked it. I don't know. I guess I would have to leave it on the floor, and then if I jumped out of bed, I would just drag it across the floor or something. I don't know. I just don't see a benefit for me. Where I have seen success though in my own life, and this is where consistency matters, is, you know, when you work out, when you eat healthy, and then meditation, like meditating for 5, 10, 15 minutes before bed, or even in bed, just laying down on the bed, has been very helpful to calm my mind, as well as not playing any like computer games or video games before bed, or like watching like a TV before going to bed. Nothing like violent or like scary, because I found those things definitely kick off like an episode. Like I will have night terrors, because then I will think like, oh, they were, I don't know, these guys were fighting in the show, and then I think like they're going to be fighting on me in my dreams. My advice to other people who may have parasomnia is to really like limit those overstimulating activities before you go to bed. So doing a little meditation, maybe listening to music, like maybe like some classical or something like soft. I'm curious to hear from any of you guys if you have parasomnia, or if this is somewhat helpful for you, because I think, you know, I'm 39 years old now. I've had it for 25 years basically, and I've gone to for 2 sleep tests, and the first time they didn't really do anything. The second time I'm getting some ideas, but there's really like nothing that can be done. At least that was told to me. The only thing that they said is, you know, beyond those things I already mentioned, is that I could get like a muscle relaxant or something I could take. It didn't really seem like it was really going to work. Well, your muscles are going to be more relaxed, so maybe you won't injure yourself, because I've definitely like pulled muscles jumping out of bed and running around. I did try THC, so taking some THC before bed. Maybe I could try it again. I only did it for like a couple of months. Hopefully this video was valuable to you guys and somebody got some value out of this. Just know that you're not alone if you have parasomnias. You know, I think it's more common than we think. Hopefully if you do have parasomnia, you can you know, get some help working through those issues, like how to manage it. I'd be really interested to communicate with you guys if you do, and we could share some experiences or tips. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. We will see you again next time.
I don't like the fireballs, guys. Why always fireballs, dude? Why is it always fire? Because fire burns everything and blows everything up, whereas ice, it saves it for later. And then you can double down. I don't understand why we burn the shit out of everything. You guys burn or freeze or whatever. Hey, you, back you, back you, back you, back you, back you. Where'd he go? Hey, stay back, guys. Oh, look at those. What the fuck is that? Is that blueberries? Is that a whole fucking wall of blueberries? Holy shit. All right.